I like it. It sounds like the skip is trying to go away.
Find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, what does he say? In case you did not know. Well, wait a minute. How could you not know that on a Saturday evening around 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the Old Tube Radio is going to be on 27085 from Central California, the Saturday night place to be. Real radio is glowing in the dark. Your radio is glowing in the dark, and of course the shortwave listeners giving us the what for. Hello, my name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers that sit in the OTR air chair and enjoying every minute of it. You can see that we are still in daylight around here. In fact, there's more light outside than there is inside. We should probably be working from the OTR patio, but it will get dark. The skip was rolling in just moments ago. It sort of died down a little bit, so hopefully everybody that wants to get checked in can do that. Let me get some early check-ins right now. We've already got SWL 61. Who would like to get an early check-in before we start over?
24 checking in.
All right, copy 24, over.
56.
All right, I'll get my up-to-date chart here. 24 and 56 just for kicks. So we've got you, Phil. Thanks for stopping by, over.
Thank you, Dennis.
I don't hear the hippopotamus or the hippopotami. Were there to be more than one? 00 is in the house. I see Robert and Teresa online. We'll get the 00. Thanks for starting us off. Out there in Hendersonville, Tennessee, looking good. We also get you checked in as 31 SWL number 1. From virtually somewhere, Dr. J. SWL number 2, OBP is out there. He is indeed 9 pounds. In fact, I thought I saw almost 10 pounds. Is that such a thing? I don't know. But good modulation, always at Chestnut and Herndon. Get on the YouTube chat and say hello to Mr. OBP. One of those guys that thought this thing up ever so long ago. The Old Tube Radio Network, a place where we could dial down and get away from the kind of crazy hate and discontent on the other channels and have a good time with our tube radios. And we are still doing it almost 40 years later. Who would have thunk? I got a proxy check-in for SWL number 3. I did not see Rob out at the event. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. I did pick up something in the swap. It was fun. And 195, can you hear me? 195, over. All right, we've got 195 in case the skip is covering you up. Let me put the X and the official in the square right now while the sun is still up. Who would have thunk? Thanks.
Dennis,
can I get a check-in for 7-8?
All right, someone wanted a check-in for 7-8.
and 37.
Okay, copy on the 37. We'll get you, Chris, over.
Thank you, Dennis.
7-8 newcomer.
Hey, 7-8, sounding good. Got your audio now. The band is, the frequency is a little bit quieter. Sounding good. We will be here for the next couple hours, so if you've got a chance to tune in, you can do that. Catch us on oldtuberadio.net on your Universal Media NetWeb device. And there's even some kind of a strange video going on as well. Thanks for joining us. Who else needed an early check-in? Over.
Break OTR.
The break OTR. Go ahead. Over.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. You got the Legend 53 checking in. I hope I'm getting out. Break.
You are getting out just fine. We will get you checked in, Mr. Belair. Over.
Happy Memorial Weekend. 73s. Bye.
Dennis?
Hey, there's that sound. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, check me in early along with 29 and 54. I'm a little under the weather and going to be in and out of the radio room. Right now I'm in, so check me in. hopefully I'll be able to come back with a radio of interest. And I still have the 3 Brownings for sale because I could not get to the swap meet today. So I was under the weather there. So still got the 3 Brownings, and I'll try and check in with the radio later.
All right, well, you're sounding good, and we definitely were talking about you this morning and missed you out there. There was a couple of big radios. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And anyway, recuperate and then come on out when we start checking in the radios, and we will get whatever you got. But you're checked in now. Thanks. We were just about ready to check in SWL5, and we will do that. That's Levon, and he is there. He says he's watching, and we are watching you. Levon, of course, from his appearances over at Old Radio Night, which I think is still going on. We will check in with JT, 21SC, and the gang. They are on an old tube radio tonight, so we definitely want to get over there and see what's going on. SWL number 7. SWL number 8. SWL number 9. That Skip is still trying something. SWL 10, I think I saw the Idaho contingent coming in. Was there a Chrissy? I'm looking on my, yes. Chrissy is there. There's the 10. We'll get 30 as well. We might have some conditions up your way tonight. I hope so. We'll find out. SWL 11 and SWL 12. That would indeed be Mr. Cornbread Dan and then the Dapper Dan. Went into makeup tonight. We got a new tie. No, I said it's not a new tie. Same old tie. And the results came out. You guys have the results? Yeah, the results came out tonight, and I want to see who it says it was the most dapper. They vote, the SWLs vote on this thing. The most dapper is SWL 12, Dapper Dan. Again with the dapperness. All right, well, that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind being a very close number 2, 11 and 12. It's good to see you. Somebody said Dapper Dan likes Heathkit radios. There was the ultimate Heathkit radio out at the swap meet this morning. It's called a DX, a Delta X-Ray 100. It is not a Class D radio, but it has the 11-meter position. It weighs about 100 pounds. Somebody bought it. It took about 2 people to pick the thing up. They stuck it in the back of a pickup truck, and it's going to be around here locally. So we might, I let the gentleman who bought it know about how he can come on down up to channel 11 here on the 11-meter band and check in. So hopefully we'll be hearing that Heathkit DX100 at some point. Thank you, 11 and 12, for checking in. Just making sure Hawaii gets checked in. SWL 13, I'll be listening on the crossband. Sometimes Mike can make it in there. We'll try 14, Sangertown. The mini grass is probably covering me up, but let's see if we can get SWL 14. SWL 14. There is about a whole bunch of noise tonight. SWL 15, Hans is in there. He was over at oldtuberadio.net a while back, and I know he is listening over on the video side. And so let me get his number up and say that he is indeed checked in. And good early morning from all the way out all the way to Copenhagen, Denmark, where it is, 4 o'clock? 4 in the morning? 5? 3? It's early. The sun is not up. I know that for sure. Yeah, right here, right now, just like John would say. Who's listening? Murphy's, California. Murphy's up in the hill. Okay. The unknown SWLs, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, Sacramento, Tracy, Talking to you guys up on 40 meters during the day. Good conditions always. Centerville, Virginia, thanks to you. We got Derby, New York, Belfast, Maine, a host of others. We'll find out who is on the video site in just a little bit. Speaking of video site, SWL 16. And Charlie is in charge of like the studio. He's like the studio guy and making sure that everything is working. So thanks for that. And everything is working. We had no problems whatsoever. I've got the new foot switch. Of course, it's not working right, but we sort of made it work. We can do some modifications. I think it will work great. Let's go to SWL 17. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 18 from Facebook. SWL 19, of course, Chet is right in there with the cue cards tonight. And what else? What is it that you have? He's got a spray bottle. What is that for? Misting? It's not that hot in here. We have the windows open. There's a breeze, so... you're cleaning... Okay, he's cleaning the glass on the teleprompter. We don't have a teleprompter. He's cleaning something. All right, well, you do whatever you do, and I won't bother you because you do a good job. So thank you. Thank you, Chet, from checking in all the way from Derby, New York. SWL 20, you heard moments, just seconds ago. That was Harvey, of course. He will be back. And SWL 21, we're going to head out to the Kakalaki area. Let me dial that up here.
Hello.
All right, the video is still on, and he's got us on. Let me bring the audio up. He's got us on camera tonight, and I'm going to pull it over. Here we go. So we're going to have, there it is, and UDX21, there I am. He's waiting, so I'll wait for him to check in. Here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to hear him coming in there. Audio is a little bit low at the moment.
All right, handyman, I got to check in to Old Tube Radio Network, SWL 21 here in South Carolina.
And they're on 21.
SWL 21, we're standing by.
Get a few more check-ins from the gang. They're on channel 21 tonight. You can see the radio is the Gemtronic GTX 5000. And hopefully we'll get a couple of those checked in tonight. All right, if you're...
Yeah, holler at him. Holler at Dennis. Holler at him.
All right, there's 614 Carolina.
Get in the check in long distance. Come on.
Another long distance checking in.
Come on, do it again.
There's South Carolina checking in. '94 checking in, I think. Who else is checking in on channel? They're on channel 21. I don't know if we can hear them tonight or not. Probably not.
Around Arkansas. Check into Old Tube Radio Network. 21, I'm gone.
There's Rebel. Checking in on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Say hello to Dennis. Say hello to Dennis.
Hey.
I'm gone.
They got a lot of people out there tonight. We're listening to Old Radio Night, UDX21, and it's 21SC on YouTube. They're on right now, so go in and tell them OTR sent you. Thanks, guys. We got you checked in, and everybody's sounding good.
Triple L, 21, in the mail. I'll see you.
All right, back to the control room here in Central California, the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, 21, for a whole bunch of extra check-ins out of Kakalaki. Always fun to do the live coast-to-coast link-up, as it were. Let's go to SWL 22. Shortwave listener 23. And I'm looking for
KE6YTG.
oh, there's 13. Let me see if I can grab 13. All right, yeah, I couldn't find the microphone. Hello, Radio 13, we've got you checked in, over.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I'll be listening on the other one.
All right, there's 13 from the crossband. Sounding good, sir. We will get you checked in. KB6GFD. All right, from the crossband, SWL 13, looking good. We have call 23. I don't see Skidoo out there. SWL 24 got checked in moments ago. Let's go way out, past the big giraffe to SWL 25. And there was a note saying check in 25 and 74, which I will do. Over to SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G on the FM crossband.
Hey, you're sounding good from the FM crossband. Were you out at the event this morning, over?
Oh, I couldn't make it tonight. The wife broke her leg, and I gotta do some nursing.
Oh, no, that's terrible. Yeah, a lot of nursing. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. And I left early, or early-ish, so I wasn't sure if you were out there. So, yeah, do what you have to do, and I hope things will be on the mend quickly. Over.
Roger that. No, she's got a lot of metal in her leg now. She'll be kicking those 90-yard field goals. All right, thanks, Dennis. KI6QL.
All right, KB6GFD, and hopefully you won't get any RF into that metal. So figure out what the length is and don't go on that frequency. 73, KB6GFD.
Is it okay if I listen in on my TV?
All right, and you can listen in anywhere you want. Anywhere you can hear the Old Tube Radio Network is a good place to listen in. Let's go up the road just a little bit for SWL 28. Up near Sacramento, or actually in Sacramento, and find out what's going on. And Gary is there tonight. What is going on? 28's checking in. He's got a great rib dinner. Going to have some cherry pie. There's songs about cherry pie, you know. And milk over ice. I do that. I do the milk over ice. What you can do, you could buy the extra rich milk. You can buy half and half and dump it over ice, and it's pretty good. Doesn't taste water at all. Nice and creamy. Come on up. There's plenty, and your plate is in the warmer. Well, that's good. It may have to stay there for a couple of hours, but I will be there. Thanks, Gary. As always, you guys outdid yourselves for the holiday weekend. It definitely seems like it. OTR Directed Net Roll Calls, what you're listening to. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark will be our next segment after the Directed Net SWL roll call here. So if you have a tube radio, hopefully you are warming it up, and we will get it on the list. That is why we are here, and that's what we do best. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 29. SWL 30, Mr. Dwayne is listening in, waiting for the skip to happen, and it just might. SWL 31, 0031 checked in. They're listening in from beautiful Hendersonville, Tennessee tonight. Let's go to SWL 32. SWL 33, myself and Bozo Control, and the rest of the people around here, we got you checked in. SWL 34, that's Jimmy doing the Facebook stuff at Old Tube CB Radio Network and many, many others. Railroader, Captain Chaos, and all the gang there. Thanks for all the good stuff you do and getting the information out for all things 11 meter and railroad. You know you do well. SWL 35 is Mr. Bill. I'm going to refresh the comments. He's in beautiful Cheyenne, Wyoming. I don't see that he has jumped in just yet, but he just might. Hello to, who's checking in tonight? Seattle, Washington. Hello, Seattle, Washington joining us, and the unknown SWL. I see you up there with the bag over your head. Let's go to shortwave listener number 37. Chris checked in moments ago. We got you, Chris. SWL 38. Sam is in Byron, California. I don't think we have any 10-5ers going, and I don't have my my beverage antenna pointed your way, but I will put the X in the square over. And speaking about X's in the squares, I need to be adding some of these X's as we go along. I think I just heard Curly check in. Let's go to SWL 39. SWL 40. SWL 41. And aloha from the Old Tube Radio Network here in Central California, streaming live at oldtuberadio.net and awaiting those tube radios. SWL 41, of course, out of New York, checking in for the Orange County React out there in Hudson Valley, New York. And a good evening, good late evening to you all out there. Let's go to SWL 42. SWL 43. SWL 44. You know, Ray did check in. I actually think I heard him on the Ditchbanks sideband net, which I'm going to be absent for a whole bunch of times because we got a lot of Friday stuff going on. We'll talk to Ron a little bit later about what's going on the sideband net, but I will get Mr. 360 checked in where he'd be able to hear me through all the noise here. SWL 45, Paul and Kelly. I'm going to get you guys checked in. I know you're listening up there on the hill, probably a great afternoon, great day today. It's nice weather down here in the valley. Always nice up where you guys are, and looking forward to getting you back on the air soon. Let's try SWL 47. We had a happenstance meeting at the hardware store. I wonder if he's on the air. Hello, radio.
I'm here. The radio's waiting for you all day.
Boy, the skip came in right as you jumped in, but I knew you were in there, and I did find my item that I was looking for just in the nick of time. So good to see you and good to hear you. Over.
Thank you. It was just absolutely delightful to run into you, sir.
All right, getting the second wave of skip land. Thanks. If you've got some radios later on, we will be right here in the air chair. Let's go to SWL 48. SWL 49.
Hey there, Dennis. 49er Mr. Smitty checking in along with Sweet Country Mama. We're waving hands all around. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and thanks, as always, for that check-in, Dennis.
And thanks, as always, for stopping by the Saturday night place to be, OTR 27085, Channel 11. You're sounding good as always. 73 to you and Sweet Country Mama. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thank you much. Take care. Take care.
Let me say hello to a couple stations jumping in. Standing Stone 1776 says he thinks he's got the FM on his QT40. Well, we've got the FM here on the crossband. William C. Hello to you. UDX 133 in the central coast of California. What is the weather like out there? It's really good here, so I'm not sure if you guys are getting the noise or not. Al is standing. Ham Radio FM is very clear. It's doing good tonight. Bootlegger UDX 252. Thanks for joining us. And I will get Neil 147 checked in because he is, as they say, right here, right now. Neil, what is going on? Let me get your official check-in, make sure I'm on the air, which I am, and what is going on up there? Heavy skip around sundown, exactly the way it was here. Very quiet during the day, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, super loud, and you can hear it still coming in just at our gray line here at about 8:30, around 8:30. Had trouble making contacts, no matter how much fire in the wire. Lots of big strappers. Yeah, that's the way it seemed to be today. They're all out. It's that holiday weekend, I think. Anyway, 73 to Dr. Jazz, 887 in the Carolina Sandhills. Thanks for checking in. The Old Tube Radio Network. I wanted to say hello to, there was a couple of other stations that scrolled away before I could say hello radio. Bootlegger UDX 252. Hello to you. Matambale, hello to you. Antennas. Talk about antennas. I picked up one today at the swap meet. We will talk about that. Mr. Nobody, someone in Colin dropping music on 17. Well, sometimes they do that. I thought I saw, thought I saw 007 in there, but I don't, it's all gone. But anyway, Frank, if you were there, we will get you checked in as well. Mike Monroe, 81, Rigsby and Doyle checking in from LaGrange, North Carolina. Thanks for joining us again this week. We are here, as you know, awaiting the tube radios, so that should be a good thing. And I'm going to back my RF gain down a little bit. I'm going to back my RF gain down in hopes that maybe the frequency we will get a little bit quiet. Let's go over to, where did we leave off? Oh, SWL 5151, over.
SWL 51, checking in.
All right, Dave, you are sounding good through the noise tonight, no problem, and getting the X in the square. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
I'll give this station a shot, SWL 52. I'll get him checked in. I had a good chat with Aaron today at the swap meet. He was there all decked up in the VHF, UHF gear, helping people find the venue, and the solar panels were cooking good. The battery seemed to be okay. So, Aaron, if you're there, take a transmission, over.
Yeah, I am actually here live and direct, SWL 52, behind the golden microphone, out here in West Fresno.
Well, I hope that everything went well. I had to leave at about 9:30 because I had another thing to attend to, so hopefully a good time was had by most.
Yeah, I only spent $1. I was tempted by multiple items, and but I made it out of there with most of the money still intact in my wallet. The crowd did kind of thin out about 10:30. Not everybody stuck around for lunch. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. And some people found some things that they were looking for. Some other people found things that they weren't looking for, but they bought them anyway.
Good deal. Well, anyway, thanks for being out there. As you know, I left with a box that was taller than I was, just a little bit bigger. So that was fun. And I don't know. It was unopened. I don't know when I'm going to open it. I might wait until I get some type of good antenna to put the thing up, but it looks good. Anytime you have a box that says antenna on it, it's just good just sitting around. All right. Anyway, thanks for jumping in tonight and all the good things you do for the ham radio community. Good stuff. Thanks for checking in. Directed Net Roll Call. We are on page, if you are following along, you'll get ready to turn page 2 because we already checked in SWL 53, Mr. Baylor. So on to page 3 we go. Getting the hang of this foot switch. SWL 54, I got a proxy in for Mr. Boardjammer. Let's go way up the hill to SWL 55, over. And 55 is checking in. I hear you, no problem through the noise tonight. Got you checked in. And someone was asking what frequency we are on. The tube radios are here on channel 11. I know that's like, why would you use 11? There is a method to the madness because a lot of the tube radios always came with the channel 11 crystal lows. It didn't have 23 channels. So we are parked here. Our FM that we use is a simplex crossband, a simplex frequency that we use. If someone can't get in on 11 meters, they can crossband up on the local 2 meter. It's not a repeater. It's a simplex frequency, so we don't tie things up in that way. And then, of course, we have the Echo link, and Tony and whoever else might be on there is going to check in with us tonight. So if you can't make it somewhere, you should be able to get a hello radio at least for a couple of seconds. SWL 56 checked in earlier just for kicks. Let's go to SWL 57. I got to put these X's in the square as we go, or else I will not know who's checking in. SWL 58. SWL 59. I saw Uncle Hairball somewhere. He's usually hanging out on the spinning wheel over at Old Radio Night. We'll see where he's at tonight. And who's hearing us in Washington? 321. Is it Catbox out there watching us? Says he's hearing us in Clallam, Colorado, I think is where that is. Usually who hears us is Rob up there, and I can't remember what city he's in, but he'll often say that he can hear us up in Colorado. So maybe the short skip is going to happen tonight. I was going to see if I could find the DX map. That's not showing much of anything on the DX portion. Let's see where we're at here. Let's close that up. And of course the map isn't cooperating, but we want 28 megahertz and we want the maximum usable frequency, were there to be such a thing, somewhere, and then I can pop that up on the screen. All right, there's what I was looking for on the map. So you can see the green areas are where 28 megahertz up at 10 meters, 11 meters, where the band is open. You can see we do have some Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Colorado, Central States. It's actually open pretty much across the U.S. right now for 10-meter stuff. You never know. You never know who might be popping in tonight. We will be listening for you all. Page 3 is where we're at. SWL 59. How about SWL 60? Over.
Union time there, Dennis. We kind of missed you today. A Mako quad beam antenna. Checking in. Oh, yes.
All right, well, it just got noisy on the frequency. I was there early, so if you were at the event, I had to leave early, so yeah, I miss you. I did see... I see a lot of good people out there that I don't get to normally see or just chat with. That was nice, so we'll try it again. I walked home with a, believe it or not, an FM, a broadcast FM antenna. Might be able to use it for the radio station or might be able to do some DX with it. So that was, I wasn't going to spend a dime. I was going to be like Aaron. I was going to spend $1 or less. But sometimes you see those unopened boxes, you just got to do the thing. Over.
Oh, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing there, Dennis. And there was a lot of stuff sold. I know we sold. We were there about 7 o'clock. I talked to Ron there and asked him, how about you? Because Harold was there and a couple of the fellas, 6, 7, Pat was there. I got to meet him again. And yeah, it was real nice. Doggone it, but we did miss you just by a hair.
All right, not a problem, but I'm glad you were on tonight because you're sounding good. We'll have some spots on the radio list for you if you'd like to do that later on. Right now, the skip is doing its thing, but you're making it through. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Dennis.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
SWL 40 checking in.
All right, 40 checking in. We've got you checked in, the X and the square. If you were out there this morning, I didn't see you, but I hear you now. Over.
Yes, I was out there, and I did see you there. And there were lots of good stuff, and there were so many leftover hamburgers. Everybody had to eat at least 2 hamburgers.
Yeah, you're probably not hearing the word I'm going to say now, but when I was there, I don't even think they had started the barbecue yet. So, yeah, they're going to have to make it more like a breakfast, I guess. Over.
You say in Hawaii? Okay, that was a perfect double with DX. But yeah, it was a lot of good stuff. The free pile did not disappoint. Over.
There was a lot of people out there looking at the free pile. A lot of people looking at that Elecraft that was an open box. Somebody walked away with the DX100. They had to have two people take it into the truck. And the guy is local, and I let him know. He says, nobody's on AM. And I say, yes, there is. And I let him know that it's got 11-meter position. And I'm hoping that he will remember and maybe get that thing on the air. And there was a Collins 32 V3 or V2. Nobody bought that. So there was some potential boat anchor stuff out there. We'll see about it. Anyway, you are sounding good. Sorry I missed you this morning, but glad I got you now. Over.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, I copied most of that. Or pretty much all of it. Yeah, I spent about, about $60, so I didn't do too bad. So now I have to starve until my next paycheck. All right, we're out.
Well, you've come to the right spot. This is the starve until your next paycheck frequencies. Thanks for checking in. We just checked in 4061 checked in earlier. That's Copenhagen over to SWL 62. SWL 63. SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. Bill in Canby. Let me go to the big list, and I think I did see Bill checking in about 30 minutes ago from beautiful Canby, Oregon. Who else is out there? All right. Where Shoals is still in. Seattle is still in. Columbus is still in. And they're hearing us in sometimes in Colorado. Who would have thunk? So that's 67 is in. Over to SWL 68. 69. Kenny was in early when I fired up the YouTube side or the video side, and he wanted to say hello to everybody. And let me see if I got any of that information. But he came in and he's doing good out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Also, there's Frank D1 from Yellow Springs, Ohio's checking in, saying hello to everyone and the rest of the net. Okay, I think I'm back here. Who else? Mr. Nobody. Got the FT101ZD rolling on the side, but nada. Got San Diego on dot 185 and 265. Let's see. No sideband, no AM, no current. No current going on. I don't know.
8520, we're going to wave them out your way too. Hello, 520 in the big band.
Yeah, William, I agree. Bill, I agree about that Collins radio. I've got one in the works here, and so I really wanted the DX100 just to have it, but I've got something better than both of those. And Bill's saying, what is better than both of those? I'll let you know sometime. Hopefully we'll get it on the air soon. But should be fun if we can get that going. Let's go to SWL 70. Here's a guy I saw today. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Dennis. How you doing? We're Drew Wyken here, and great to see you also. Glad you got your FM antenna. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't stay that long, but good stuff. Anyhow, 70 checking in. Thank you, Dennis, and I will unmic for this part. Kilo 6 Mike Tango Sierra.
Okay. I was just about to say, you have a strange delay going on, and now I realized I was hearing you simultaneously and at the same time AM, FM, upper and lower sideband, through the AM. So that's pretty cool. Over.
K6MI, number 73.
It's fantastic. Hello, K6MI. Hey, thanks for the net, man.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. So hello to Mark and hello to John. I saw you out there today, and I didn't come by and and poke you. I should have done that, but I don't know. I think I actually saw you with your hands not full of some type of gear, so that's a good thing. Anyway, John, good to see you this morning, and thanks for stopping by. KB6 GFD.
Very good. Good time was had by all. I talked the morning away. It was great. K6MI, thanks.
All right, 73, KB6 GFD. All right, so that takes care of SWL 70. Thank you, Mark, and SWL 73. John, we're both out at the swap meet this morning, doing good stuff. Let's also go to SWL 72.
Hey, comment, Dennis.
And the comment, go ahead, over.
I don't know. I think he might have left before he got there. I'm not sure. But K6NYC Mike, M squared Mike, came by, and I didn't get to talk to him a lot. Just kind of saw him and stuff. But yeah, just to kind of acknowledge that he was there, and just the guy's kind of, locally he's a legend. But he's just a super advocate for the hobby and anything amateur radio. But it was cool to see him up and about and stuff. He's not doing that great, but it was good to see him. But just a little shout out to K6NYC there, okay?
Indeed, K6NYC, who a lot of people might actually hear that aren't in this state if they go to, and he's usually sometimes on in the morning on the low 40-meter frequencies like 71 something. Sometimes he's up on 20 meters, K6MYC. Anybody have KLM antennas? The old KLM mic stall is the M in the old KLM, and anybody have an M square antenna? Look at your dial on that thing, and it says Fresno, California, and the gentleman we're talking about, Mike, is the big M in M square. And as Mark mentioned, promoting the hobby for ham radio, and many years ago, the event that we were attending this morning was out at his facility, and he always put on a great venue there. All right, Mark, sounding good, and thanks for stopping by.
7-3.
Speaking about another guy who does great work for the ham radio community and getting stations that would like to be on the air, don't have their licenses, but helping them go through the study tests and things like that, so you can add a little bit of extra flavor to your 11-meter DX day when you can't make a contact. There's all these other radio real estate, and that is SWL 71. Of course, that's Stan out in Dallas, Georgia, who is, he checked in tonight a couple hours ago, but he does a lot of good work as well, getting stations to get their tickets and improve their antenna systems. Let's go to SWL 73 was in, 74 checked in proxy. Let's go to SWL 75. SWL 76. I'm checking. I've got about 4 places where people might check in. Hello to Cumberland Center, Maine, I believe, up in the balcony, and New York. I'm sorry, not New York. York, Pennsylvania. Just coming in the door. There's all sorts of good stuff. So come on down to the green room and get a plate of food. SWL 77. SWL 78. I'm going to get 78. Richard checked in. I heard him on and I don't even know what it's called. It's that 40-meter net in the morning that Brian does out of Upland for a couple hours, and they do a swap as well. Richard was out of Wildemore, was coming in really well a couple of days ago on that. And then, let me get the transmitter fired up here. 78 from in the valley, jumping in, the old Tube Radio Network. We have been on this channel, on this frequency, since about 1986 on Saturday evenings, doing just what we're doing now. That's promoting the use and distributing information about old tube radios. So we are glad that everybody can jump in. And, of course, it's not a club. It's not, there's no secret handshakes. There's no dues. You just come as you are and have a good time. And remember, and enjoy CB radio as it might have been years and years ago, thinking, I remember when you could just have a conversation. How cool is that? Anyway, thanks for joining us, 78. Also, SWL 79. Let me get Philip checked in. I know he is out there. Over to SWL 80. I think that requires me to turn the page here. SWL 81. SWL 82. And I'll take a quick jump on 82. That's Ron Bones. He is the voice of the Ditchbank Sideband Net. He was out there this morning. He had a couple of things, I think, that he was selling, because it was good to meet Ron. And his net is on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 27,365, 36 lower. And apparently some of the stations, a station, I think it was the Florida station, was it Warthog 95? I'm not sure. Somebody checked into the Ditchbank's Sideband Net on Friday, for all the way from Florida. So I don't never hear Florida on AM. We just never do. So Ron, if you're listening somewhere, we got you checked in.
Oh, I'm listening. Thanks for checking me in, Dennis. 82, checking in.
All right, good to see you out there this morning. And did you stay long enough to get a hamburger over?
I didn't just get one. I got two.
Yeah, apparently if you got to stay long enough, you had to have two, and then maybe take a few more, in a bag.
All right, thanks for checking me in. Have a good night.
All right, thanks, Ron, and thanks for the Friday night net. We definitely enjoy that. It's good decompression at the end of the week. Let's go to SWL 83. That's JZ. Hello, JZ. Well, it's joining us. Houston, Texas. We hear Texas all the time on 40 meters at night. Let's go to SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88, sort of kind of in that order. And that, of course, is Jerry Cheerios Kid, the Mountain Maid Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. Listen for Jerry on his tube radio, his great-sounding Swan radio on 77.204, lower sideband on the Jefferson Noontime Net most mornings. SWL 89. SWL 90. SWL 91. Did someone say we need to proxy Felix in? I can do that. I would not. I don't know if I saw him on Old Radio Night, but we'll get Felix checked in because it is late. It is late out there on the Bronx. SWL 92. SWL 93 STD.
Hey, SWL 93 SCD checking in. Evening time, Dennis. Evening time, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a good Memorial Day weekend. 93 STD, we gone.
We are off to a good start. The Old Tube Radio Network having a great time here. Thanks. And hello to Red on the Road, listening from Louisville, Kentucky. Are you on the low road, or are you way up on the high road there? Wherever you are, thanks for joining us, oldtuberadio.net. We're live at channel 1127-085, and there's some kind of video thing going on from Delta Echo FM 28. Howdy from Mr. Foobar, the Snafu. The Snafu is usually here in the studio, so it's out your way. That's okay. We can handle it. Let's go to SWL 95. And I think that is that might have been the station that was talking to Ron on Friday, but that's Warthog 95 out there in Florida. So thanks for listening in. Up we go to, and I'm seeing if we've got Kurt, SWL 96. I'll get a proxy for him. Sometimes he's on the Echo link, but I don't see him there. Kurt, if you're listening, I'll get the check-in. SWL 97 out there in Boston somewhere. SWL 98 from the Central Valley Sea Beers. And just about everywhere, I can almost say that, just about everywhere else. Thanks, Tracy, for jumping in tonight. And thanks for the Facebook page. Always good to see what is going on around here. Let's see. Cumberland Center is Radio Man. Hello, Freddie. Well, if you're on the interwebs, I think you just did. You're at oldtuberadio.net, and I see you. So we've got you checked in. Yeah, you're going to have to be in the skip zone to make it here into Central California. Let's go to SWL 99.
Bang, 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 bang.
Radio Randy. I wonder what his wind situation is out there in Cape Creek, Arizona. And there's someone giving a thumbs up. 93 STD sounded good. Yeah, indeed. He's one of the audio guys. Works on the audio. It is amazing what you could do from the microphone to the radio by adding a little bit of processing and gear, whether you do it with, like I've got the rack gear, or you do some type of in-computer processing. It is a fun part of the hobby here on CB radio and ham radio as well. There's a whole group of extended sideband guys and voodoo audio guys. So that's one thing. If you get into the ham radio or the CB2A radio, another thing you can do. And you don't even have to open the radio up and turn it with a screwdriver. You could all do it all outside the radio. It's pretty fun. So I agree. We got a lot of stations out there with some decent audio. Let's go to, we go to the Echo link. Tony is there, so let me get that fired up. All right, let me get Tony first. KD4BAO, KB6GFD, over. And we'll get Tony fired up here on the Echo link, SWL 100.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you. And back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, well, it is good to be heard. Sounding good. Tony is our tubes on the air purveyor. I talked to a Summits on the air today. He was up at 10,000 feet somewhere overlooking like Las Vegas. I didn't think the mountains were that high, but caught him at 10,000 feet. Now, Tony is he's not that quite that altitude. In fact, he might only be at about 3 or 4 feet at the desk. Getting ready to fire up those tube radios. So thanks, Tony. We will be needing your assistance here at about 10 minutes. Thanks for that. KB6GFD. We'll do one more Echo link. I see that Kurt made it in, SWL 96. So let's get a transmission from Kurt. W9KC, KB6GFD, over. See what the rig du jour is from Kurt today.
Good evening, Dennis. KB6GFD in the net. This is W9KEC in beautiful Kokomo, Indiana. Not much to report, Dennis. Conditions have been kind of wonky. Did pretty good today. Today was probably the best day I've had. But, yeah, so. Anyways, if you would please, check in SWL 96, and we'll turn it back over to net control. As always, thanks for taking the net. Thanks everybody who's checking in, and we'll see you next week. Whiskey 9, Kilowatt, Echo Charlie.
All right. Thank you, Kurt. Sounding good as always. Looking forward to catching you on the other airwaves, some lower frequencies. You just never know. Does it pop in if the conditions are right? Sounding good now, and always thanks for joining us on Echo Link 73 from KB6GFD. And we'll grab one more while we are at it here on the Echo Link.
W9KEC. Dit.
Grab one more on the Echo link, and that is, I think you're still there. Yeah, Albert, take a transmission and say hello, radio. I see you on the screen. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Yes, this is a modulation meter moving, and hello, shortwave listeners and old tube radio listeners too. And I'm just so excited to see the radios tonight. I've got one there waiting, but it's hard to get it out without no antenna. So anyway, we're going to be listening more, and it's fun to be with you. And I'm just going to say KB6GFD to you, and this is KI6CBA checking out for tonight, but I'll listen to the radios as they come in. 75s.
I like the 75s because there's a little bit left over in case you run out. You can distribute that. Sounding good. Always nice to have you join us. We will continue with the net, and me too. I'm looking forward to the radios tonight. 73. KB6GFD. Direct-to-net roll call is where we are at. And hello to 102 John. I see you in there. Thanks for being patient. John is out in Arkansas, I think, tonight. I don't know if you're remotely checking in, but you look good, sound good, and we've got you checked in 102. Let me make it official. Over we go to SWL 103. And let's see, Joey checked in, over at oldtuberadio.net about an hour ago. Skip was rolling in this evening and says he wish he could make the trip to Fresno. He's going to keep trying. Well, that's the best way to do it, I think, is to keep trying, and we might hear you. Anyway, we've got you checked in now, and that is a good thing. 73.
Phone call and shop all the best deals on every single cruise line in the world.
Let's go to SWL 109.
With experts that know the ins and outs of every cruise ship and can tell you the best cruise for your vacation.
109 would be Mr. Crawdad. Might have been on Wednesday night or a Friday night, but Crawdad, if you're in there, I will get you a check-in because I know it's noisy up there. And the Beagleman, 888 with the Baker Oscar Zulu Oscar. He knows what I'm talking about. Let's go to SWL 110. Shortwave listener 111 who joined us live last week. I was thinking he might have been at the event this morning, but I didn't see him. Let's go to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, charging in.
Hello, Wayne. Sounding good. I've got the X in the square. 114 on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks.
Thank you for the check-in, Dennis.
And let's back up a bit. I think I got this guy proxied in because I heard him this week checking in with Brian on, I think you guys were down on 25? 225 instead of 235. Anyway, I heard you were sounding good in the Fresno. So Richard 78, you're checked in from cool, windy Wildemar. Hopefully not dusty Wildemar. I guess they're having some problems south of you guys with the dust. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Wayne is in. SWL 128. That is Richard, who is, I'm sorry, not Richard, John. Why did I say Richard? Yeah, John in Fairfax, Virginia. SWLing. In fact, I got a nice letter from one of the shortwave listeners saying that, a lot of us, and including me, started that way long ago, whether it was on a DX60 or a giant Heath kit or somehow, or maybe DXing on your AM radio, doing that. And it's the magic of those pulling stuff out of the air and seeing how far you can get and what conditions might be. So always enjoy our shortwave listeners. And John is one of the many that was recognized by Popular Electronics back in the day, back when they used to give out shortwave listener cards and stuff. That's a rare thing to have. So let's go over to SWL 131. And the band just got super quiet. SWL 133. It's getting wacky out there. SWL 135.
Hello. SWL 135. Attempting to check in for all the noise. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, sir, and we've got you checked in. No problem. Over. Also checking in, Red Fox 1 SWL 76. I will go up the page, and if you look above my head, you will see the official click. Maybe. if my mouse will work. There you go. See the official 76 check-in. Thanks for joining us. Direct and net roll call is where we are at. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. SWL 137. And let me jump in. All right, let me jump in on the Echo link. Who is that? Hello, radio from Central California on the Echo link here at the Old Tube Radio Network, oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for joining us on the Echo link. Over.
Power levels down.
All right, that should be fine. I've got the foot switch trying to work that. Anyway, that was station out in the United Kingdom listening in to us tonight, checking in on Echo Link. Let's go up to SWL 145. Tony, I finally met Tony this morning, and Tony, if you're out there through the skip, I'm checking you in. Over.
6 VLF.
So I think I've got questions from Tony. It was good to see Tony and his XYL at the event this morning. SWL 147, Neil checked in earlier, trying to work the skip. Or the skip is there, but he was trying to work. Let's go to a guy who can work the skip anytime, every time, all the time. SWL 188.
Good evening, Tom Dennis, 188 checking in.
Sounding good through the noise tonight, Bobby, and hope you are having a good weekend. Over.
Yes, sir, we sure are. Evening time to everybody.
And good evening time. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 195, Jim, the Course Gold Starliner checked in earlier, and SWL 226. We're going to check in for Jeff out there in the hills. And anybody else that needs a check-in, we will get you in right now. Over. 25. Hey, there's 25. Can you hear me? Over.
KC24, local news that matters.
But I wanted to make sure to get checked in and say howdy to everybody, and especially you. Thanks for what you do, man. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
All right, Jerry, you are sounding good. Thanks for what you do. We've been doing the Friday night concerts. We had another one last night in the Tower District, and then we're going to have 4 more. There we go. We've been doing the Friday night Tower District concert series. I always thinking about you when the bands are up on the stage, about you guys. And we're going to do 4 more in the month of June. So maybe we'll see you out there. I don't know. Anyway, sounding good, and thanks for checking in. Over.
Roger, Dennis. Dennis, I just want to appreciate you. Thank you very much for letting me on this.
Hey, not a problem. We are here for all stations so they have a good time on the radio. That's sometimes that's hard to do, but not on a Saturday evening on Old Tube Radio Network. Chrissy, the Dolphins are jumping. Good night to you if you have an early morning. Thanks for joining us as always. Not sure where the skip is going to be, but if Dwayne can stay up with the radio, we'll be listening. All right, so with that said, it is time for the Tube Radios. I will be back in moments. We'll fire everything up, and if you've got a Tube Radio, now is the time. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We will do what we do best because of you. Back in a bit, it will be glowing in the dark. Don't go away.
You were with...
And you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Your Old Tube Radio Network. Who just joined us? Oh, Levon, SWL5. Well, you are here. We are all here tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark. OldTubeRadio.net. And a host of others from around the globe, as we've heard tonight, everywhere from Australia to England, around the States. And now we're jumping in local, unless you can hear us and jump in with your tube radio. We'll be listening. But listen to the local guys with their tube radio collections that keep the old tube radio on the air. We are standing by for radio number one. Go ahead, radio number one, over. Cliff, if you can hear me, go to 10. Yeah, give the wheeze a squeeze, over.
Okay, is this kosher?
Yeah, take a transmission. What do you got?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay, go ahead and just do it?
You got it, over.
Yeah, we'll do it this way then. From Waseca, Minnesota, and the Johnson Radio Company, this is the Johnson 223, 23-channel base station. There are 10 tubes, but all 23 crystal-controlled transmit and receive channels. Back to you.
All right, E.F. Johnson 223. Let me bring up the picture. I think we have one that is from your selection. It's the one that has the strange little speckles on the front, over.
That's the one you're listening to right now. As pictured, yeah, if you've got that picture up there with the missing paint, I call it the Star-Spangled Johnson. I'm also using the original Turner microphone. It's like a Turner, was it 254, 354, whatever it is, but in Johnson clothing. It says Johnson on the front. It's got the Viking head and the meatball in the middle. Unamplified and no lockdown capabilities. And I hope I'm close enough to on frequency. Back to you.
No, you actually sound PDG, pretty doggone good. Got a great shot of the messenger that appears to be on channel 11. It shows the Johnson microphone. We talk a lot about that. That is the microphone you could buy with the radio from, was it Shure? They had it made for the Johnson key bar and the Viking head in the front. And the audio sounds good. There is no problem. Don't have to mess with anything were you to not want to. And another great, that is one of the radios that it's solid looking. It's not utility that much. It's not super fancy with the wooden sides, but I just sure like the chrome edges and just how they did everything. It's nice.
Oh yeah, and plenty of ventilation too. The entire cabinet is perf metal, and there's even more holes in the back, so it's got more than enough ventilation. And yeah, well, once again, the mic is a Turner type, not a Shure.
Oh, I said yes, it is. Thank you. It is definitely a Turner, not an static, not a Shure, but the Turner desk mic, almost like similar to the Plus 2. Love the S meter. I guess it's a 223. It's a Messenger 2, 23 channels. I think they just turned things sideways and stuffed it in the box there and fit in the meter and the rest of the crystals and a nice speaker and maybe some other things. It does not go mobile. There is not a 12 volt or a 6 volt version of this. So, and I think they did that on purpose. So you would have to buy all of their newfangled solid state radios they were coming out with.
Oh yeah, there is no provision for DC on this thing at all. It was 100% made for bass. Just has a hardwired in AC cord in the back. No plugs or anything to mess about with. Incidentally, the nice, big, easy to read for these old eyes meter is receiving you at just the teensiest bit shy of 20 over. So excellent signal into here. I hope I'm getting over to you as well.
You sound great. So go ahead and flip that up one. Go ahead and flip it up one, and I'll catch you there, and we'll finish up. The Old Tube Radio Network, the Johnson Messenger 223, sounding good. Take a transmission, Cliff, over.
Hey, back here on the official channel, this is the Johnson Model 223 from Wasaga, Minnesota. 10 tubes, all 23 crystal-controlled channels, and the original microphone. Back to you.
From beautiful Wasaga, Minnesota, Edgar F. and Ethel, I think it was his wife, would be very proud when they started their business over 100 years ago to know that here in 2025, some of their wares are doing quite well.
I'm just the teensiest bit low. 0848, so yeah, I'm pretty darn close to right on. Glad you can hear me. I hear you. Again, almost 20 over. Excellent signal. Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll let it roll.
Sounding good in the neighborhood. The E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. One of the radios that if you're looking to start your collection, this would be a good one to pick up. Usually will come with the microphone. Any microphone will work on it, but if you can find the Johnson desk mic like we're showing and like Cliff has, you hear how good his audio is without amplification. Not a problem there. It's got the S meter and 23 channels, and there's not a lot of wacky knobs or tuning and loading or spotting to do. You can get on the air without much problems, and the things are pretty indestructible, and they sound great. So a good radio all the way around, and we've been checking those in since day one we started. Thanks for bringing it by and getting us started. Over.
Once again, thanks for letting me check it in. If I can get through all the mess out there. Again, everything appears to be working over here, so like with the other Johnsons. So I want to get both my Johnsons in here at least once this year. Thanks for letting me check it in.
All right, very good. Let's see. I want to make sure we get everybody that wanted to get checked in. We got Radio Randy, Mr. Levon jumped in here at the top of the tubes. There may be some other stations listening in. Oh, you know what I wanted to do is see before we take it, where the radios are warming up, see if I can find our questions. And so we'll look for that. I didn't do our 2 questions tonight, and I know Tony was probably good at sending them in. Anyway, Old Tube Radio Network, we are listening for your radios. Over. Hello, 14. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm on the air. Go ahead and take a transmission for radio number 2, 14. Over. Go ahead and take a transmission, 14, for radio number 2. Over.
Yeah, hey, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Jim Marine Products Power Mate.
Alabama, we in Alabama, we in Birmingham, Alabama.
And it's got a amplified D104 desk mic with a silver eagle head on it. And it must be working pretty good, because when you guys went down to 10, I was able to talk to Dwayne on his Browning Golden Eagle up there in Idaho.
Yeah, I knew Dwayne had to get some conditions. They're hearing us up in Colorado and elsewhere. So it's nice to know the West Coast is beaconing. There's the G PowerMate, the little G, and I don't know what it's called, but it's like the captain's wheel on a ship. So works for Gem Marine products. And if you like blue, if you like the blue radio like the Hustlers, here's another one, the Gem Marine products. Good audio, too. I think this is from the Panasonic chassis, the same as the Robins and the T-Berry. So that's why it always sounds so good, because it has plate modulation over.
Yeah, this radio is a real nice blue radio. It kind of matches my Mustang also by Metrotech. It has a real nice stand on the bottom of it that makes it, pop up kind of a little bit more. I got this radio from Chris, and he took real good care of it. It's a really nice radio, kind of an oddball radio. Like he said, it's not one you're going to see very often. And I went through it the other day and cleaned the relay up. That was all that was wrong with it. So I don't think I've ever checked it in to the OTR. Maybe I have, but I think I had a problem with it previously. But it seems to be making a good trip this evening over there.
It's sounding, let me get there. It's sounding great. Always sounds good. The audio is nice and clear and loud. The conditions, we've lost at least the major part of the skip. So it's making conditions and copy pretty good. Got a great shot of this. Here's another radio. You can find any of the Panasonic 2 chassis, like the Robin or the Gem Marine products. This one's probably in the price range. It didn't have a lot of the fancy features that the Robins did or the T-Berry. So you might find these on the market a little less expensive. But it's got a fine tune, which always is a nice thing to have. If you're going to have one control, fine-tuning helps. And the PA. So if you want to talk to your neighbors or jump out in the car and do the Mr. Microphone thing, you can do that. All right, back to you, Sean. You are radio number 2, the Gem Marine PowerMate, and always sounding good. Over.
Bark and bite at my tortoise every time it walks by the fence. So that might be a secondary application for it on the PA. But yeah, thanks for Joel Biden. Time for the Gem Marine Products PowerMate, and I'm glad to be back on the air after missing a net or two there.
All right, we're glad that you are feeling better. It is, whatever it is going around. A lot of people have been under the weather. I know Harvey didn't make it out to the item this morning. He said he might just kind of jump in and take a transmission. I hope he's feeling good enough to do that, and we're glad you are back in front of the microphonium. But it's, like I said, you always listen in. But it's always fun to jump in and take a transmission. Thanks for Radio 2. And I was looking for the questions here, the Friday evening questions, and for some reason they're not showing up, but I bet they're in there somewhere. Anyway, you're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. The Jingle Singers say, well, if you can't do something, maybe we can, so they will.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
60.
And hello, Joe. 60. Let's put you down for radio number 3. Take the transmission over.
Well, thank you much, Daniel. I didn't get a chance to check on the radio, I guess. I hope we're transmitting okay. Dennis, from World Radio Labs, my Hustler base.
World Radio Labs, the Hustler. We have a station, and let me see where he is. It's DK Vincent, and he's got the WRL Rustler. And I don't know if DK's listening in, and he's trying to find information about the microphone plug, a microphonium plug for one. Now, if I remember correctly, and Harvey might be listening when he comes about, we will ask Harvey about this. So don't go away, DK, or if you're watching the replay, when Harvey comes back, we will ask him about the mic connection. So I'm understanding that and I'll get the picture up here, that the radio comes with a hardwired microphone, but you actually have a mic plug in your Hustler. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have a Turner Plus 3. Harvey installed that in the front. It did come from underneath. That didn't work out too well, so he hooked it up in the front there. Dennis, we got 7, I guess we should say probably 7 little tubes to a small radio. About 8 channels, hardware to go with it, a mic mount, and a few features on it, even a crystal slot there in case we wanted to put a desired station on it.
Yeah.
Good. Good deal. So the question is then, in the picture I'm seeing, it says World Radio Labs. It's underneath the speaker, and under the word labs is where the microphone typically would be wired in. So is that where your mic plug is under the word labs?
Right underneath the word labs is my plug. That's where Harvey put it in. I didn't get to see the other one, but
my girlfriend having a Sony tube, and she broke it, and I don't care about she broke the radio. I put to fix the radio with AC.
All right, well, that's probably what he did, was put in a microphone jack there, and we'll have to find out what he wired, whether it was if we could get on a standard DIN plug or a 4-pin or whatever he thought would fit in that space there, and we can find that out from Harvey. We can let DK Vincent know that if he can find something, it might just go, if you can pull out the grommet, it might just fit right in the hole, and then you'll be able to plug in the various microphones like you do. And it definitely sounds good with the stock microphone, but it definitely sounds good with the amplified microphone. Over.
Well, we
have a JVC radio from Japan with my JVC.
We'll keep it intact. It does have a fairly nice meter right in the center of the radio. Speaker's about a 2x2. And you can see it directly behind the screen because the meter lights up the speaker box, so you can see the speaker in there.
Yeah, you made JVC for it.
And it has the S meter, which is pretty cool, and then you've got selectable channels. So I don't know if that is electronic relay switching. Sometimes that's an issue, but you would know. If you unplug the microphone and your receive audio goes away, then it's electronic switching. So we will find out, because obviously the microphone that comes with it is nice, but I think you've proved with that radio that if you can put some amplification on there or get a mic plug on the front, it makes it a little bit more versatile, but it looks good and sounds good as well. Radio number 3, World Radio Labs. Yours is the Hustler. DK Vincent said his is the Rustler, and I don't think we've ever figured out why there is the discrepancy between the two names. Were there to be some copyright problem? Maybe. And they just had to put a tag over the top or whatever. But we may have discussed that before. Anyway, back to you, Joe. Thanks for bringing it by. It is a fan favorite. It is our second, by the way, it's our second blue radio tonight. Over.
Thank you much. A good thing. That's nice.
Yeah, we have RCA joined the CB for a good minute.
All right. Thank you, Joe. And with that, before we take another radio, I am going to get over to the questions of the evening as they were. Oh, actually, I could put them on the screen, but I don't think I will do that. I don't think I will do that. So let's see. Where are we? Let's go to the control room. Yeah, you can see the power mate is still up in the screen. All right, here's our questions. Number 1, what was the largest antenna ever used by W1AW? W1AW is the ARRL's club, I'll say it a club station, but it's their station that they use to broadcast code, practice, and QSTs of generic interest to ham radio operators, but on all frequencies. They actually, if you Google search for W1AW, you can find their schedule and what bands they're on and what modes they're in, and actually listen in as an SWL. So what was the largest antenna ever used by W1AW in Newington, Connecticut? And the answers are an 80-meter cage dipole, a moon-bounced array on 1296, a 160-meter inverted L, or a rhombic. Now, they're on, I should ask our resident expert, and Mike 47, are you out here, over? Oh, okay. He may have stepped away because he's actually been to Newington, Connecticut, and been up the in the brick building that houses W1AW. The biggest antenna you can get probably would be a rhombic, but I don't know if that would fit on their property. And it doesn't say what frequency. The cage dipole sounds good to me, but when you talk about big, I bet it was the rhombic, but anybody, yeah, and William says a rhombic. So that's what I would say, and let me find the answer here. Okay, the answer is rhombic. Each leg of the rhombic was 530 feet long. The rhombic, I think, is sort of like a big V, a backwards V. It's sort of like a folded dipole, like on each end or end to end. And it sort of really focuses your receive and transmit signal in a certain direction. It gives you a very narrow beam heading. But as we just noticed, you need about 500 to 1,000 feet. And depending on the frequency you're using, you might even need more. So good deal on that. And here's number 2. What famous manufacturer of amateur radio equipment used the phrase, "We won't let you fail"? Aha. I bet Dapper Dan knows this. What famous manufacturer of amateur radio equipment used the phrase, "We won't let you fail" in its advertising? Now, think about that. We've actually had many of this company's radios check in here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And maybe we'll have one tonight. In fact, I saw one of them today. I didn't buy it, but I saw one of them today at the swap meet. It was about 100 pounds, and it was a DX100 from the company Heathkit that had kits for radios and televisions and stereo, everything. And their motto was, "We won't let you fail." And I think they actually had a phone line you could call up, and they would kind of walk you through, or I don't know, you might have been able to even send your stuff back and they would test it out for you. But that's the same way here at the Old Tube Radio Network. We won't let you fail. If you're checking your radio, we will make sure it gets on the list, and we are listening.
Evening down there. Check. 409 up in Spokane. Break out.
And 409 in Spokane, I noticed it was open when they were talking to Idaho. They were hearing us in Colorado, and now in the northwest corner. Thanks. Or the northeast corner, maybe.
Better weekend, Dennis. QTR 709.
Hey, waving Dennis.
And hello to 709. Who else is jumping in there? The Old Tube Radio Network. And I think we had a radio. Who was the radio checking in? It was the skip has now gone into our favor.
Hey, Dennis, Mr. Nobody up here on the east side of Washington State.
All right, Mr. Nobody, sounding good as always on the wideband receive through the Sennheiser microphoniums and beaconing worldwide on the Universal Media Network at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for joining us.
Driver, running him dog trucker.
14.
All right, 14, we will give it a shot. Your radio number 4, and over to you for transmission, over.
Yeah, I just want...
We have a truck driver. We already have a trucker. We already have a dog truck driver. We already have a trucker. We already have a truck driver.
It's a black radio with a kind of a half chrome base and neat looking...
From Sangertown, and as you heard, the skip has changed, so we're listening to the northwest, Idaho, southeast, and even Sanger jumping in, over.
Nierger. We have a Sager Nierger.
But not a lot of features on it. It does have a meter, and I'm receiving you at the 3S units.
So I'm 3 pounds, a good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon?
Yeah, we have a Sager Nierger. Oh, the Nierger. You a fucking Nierger. Nierger.
And give me the radio again. What was the model number? What was the model number again? Over.
It's the
K88-000.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely not one of the louder ones, but it puts out a signal, and you can tell. It looks like we're maybe KC low, which sometimes isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, might even help.
Yeah, son, maybe a Nierger truck driver can. There's something Nierger over there. You damn right, there's a Nierger trucker.
All right, well, it's good to have you back in the air chair and find out what's still working. You know, sometimes the radios take a week off or 2 weeks off, and you gotta find the one that actually works. Over.
Yeah, this one has had some time off, so that's what I was trying to do, is rotate some of the radios that I don't have a big favor for back into the equation here for this.
And did you say that was a stock microphone with that?
Yeah, it is the stock hand microphone. It has the button on the right side of it. Press it on there. It does have the original sticker on the microphone as well.
Okay, yeah, you really have to get into that one to get it up to about 70% modulation. Over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so now I'm yelling into it now, and yeah, I'm kind of looking at the meter there. You're right. It doesn't have a lot of modulation. So anyhow, I just wanted to get this one checked in there, the Hammerland CB212.
CB212 from Hammerland. They made a lot of the radios that they had were their receivers with a transmitter secreted inside. But there was a couple. The 212, and that says the picture's not available. Let me go to the 212 here. The 212 is actually, there it is, and we'll use Cliff's picture. The 212 actually has the look. Let me get it in the box here. There we go. It has the look of a radio. Let me get it in. Anyway, take another transmission.
Yeah, it has a good look to it. It's about the size of one of my Metrotech radios there, and I don't know, like a bread box type of size to it. And it gets pretty warm. I'm noticing. I've had it on here for a few minutes, and it is a warm running radio there.
And you said it was the logo. It's the H with the arrow through, which is electronic symbol. That's still on the microphone.
It does have that logo. The little sticker is still on the microphone, and that's one of the things I really like is when they have all their original little things to them, like that sticker stayed on there all these years.
Indeed, good stuff. And I think they're using the same S meter that's in the Hustler. Well, a nice big radio, but a small S meter. But if you look close enough, you will see it. But the Hammerland's a cool logo. A company also over 100 years or up to 100 years old, and they started making some great receivers, noted for a lot of their great receivers. Not a lot of transmitters at all. So it's interesting that they took one of the receivers and figured, maybe we can put 5 watts. We can't do 500 watts like Johnson or WRL, but we can go with 5-watt DC input. The CB212 information I have, 6 crystal controlled, 3 watts minimum output, 5 watts input to the final, 117 volt AC. It looks like there is 12 volt DC. You might have a special cable for that. Looks like it could go 12 volt DC and go mobile. 14 pounds electronic switching. So were you to be able to unplug the microphone, the receive audio would go away, but it looks like it's hardwired in. It says there seems to have been 2 different paint schemes. Not sure of the differences. So yours is yours the darker front or the lighter front?
Mine is black and chrome. So on the face of it, it's black on top and then chrome on the bottom where the knobs are.
All right, and that matches what we're showing, the chrome on the bottom, kind of third, and the darker on the top with your logo. That's the way you can see the logo because the writing is in white. Also, here's a fan of Hammerland. He knows about these S9 radio. Greg WikiWhack is listening in from Big Bear Mountain in the house in Southern Cal. Thanks for joining us tonight, Greg. Greg got a lot of, look for his S9 radio videos, a lot of good videos on radios, repair, helpful hints on some antenna stuff. He's doing some antenna designs. He's got one I really like about the Regency Imperial and other things. Anyway, always good when Greg can join us from Southern Cal. The conditions tonight are up in Oregon, Washington. We're not having the ducting tonight, but maybe when it gets hot, that will happen. Over to you, Sean. Radio number 4, Hammerland 212. I don't have any Hammerland gear, but one of my favorite companies. I always thought it was cool that they got into the CB radio section of it, and they really made some unique stuff. Over.
Yeah, it's the only Hammerland radio that I have, and I do kind of like the logo. I think it's a sharp-looking radio, and that's the reason why I acquired this one. So anyhow, thanks for the time for the Hammerland CB212.
Indeed, and to grace the radio table, you might look for like their line of amateur gear. That's general coverage receivers. They're good lookers, and you can sometimes find them in fairly decent condition for a fairly decent price. So that would be a good addition to the Hammerland side. Radio number 4, the CB212. We do have some Hammerlands hanging out here in the valley, so keep that radio handy because if you team up with a couple others here in town, you could probably make the Hammerlands. And this doesn't happen often, but make the Hammerlands the most heard manufacturer of the evening. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio is glowing in the dark, and the jingle singers know more than I do about that. So let's try it.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Did someone say wonderful?
$60.
Hey, Joe, you got me drinking my water here. I'm doing too much talking tonight, so I got to stand by and let the radios speak. Your radio number 5, go ahead.
And I'm over here chug-a-lugging coffee in a hot room with all these radios. Tubes are burning like the way they should. Dennis, I'd like to check in my messenger, my 223 messenger from Johnson.
From Waseca, Minnesota, you're in good company. We started off with the Messenger 223, so let's add another one to the list. Cliff was on his using the stock Johnson microphonium. I wonder what you've got.
Well, Dennis, we're in the same boat. This is the stock original microphone for this radio. Looks like a Turner Plus, but it's just a picture of it. No dials, nothing fancy. And as far as the radio goes, we got a well-lit meter. I hope the skipper's not wiping me out, but we'll give it our best shot. We do have a volume and a squelch. You turn the squelch on, the volume is by itself there, but it is a solid base station radio. I can't go mobile on this one. I have 2 mobiles and I have 2 bases that are strictly AC. This one is 10-2, no goodies in the back or a little in the front here. Got a big 4x4 speaker, and it seems to be like it would let's say make a nice boat anchor for my boat.
I saw one today. Somebody picked up one today at the swap meet that was a boat anchor. It was about 80 to 100 pounds. It took two guys to lift it into the truck. This, not so. So hopefully you have a small boat over.
Small one. I can handle it by myself there for sure. Not rubber, but it is aluminum. But I can handle it myself. Just joking. I missed you today, and I got a chance to spend some time with Harold and stuff like that. But it was a good deal. A lot of nice radios. You weren't joking about that. I seen people digging as deep as in their pocket as they could for some of those radios. I'm going to stay with my 950 Yaesu. I'm only using half of it because I don't know how to work the other half.
Well, you'll get the hang of it, and sometimes you only need half a radio anyway to get where you want to go. The new radios with all those menus, you don't even use half of them. You use like 6 pieces. There's 102 menus, and you might only need 6 of them. But it's sounding good. I've got you in as Radio 5. Who is listening? Some new people. Popcorn 913. We haven't seen Popcorn 913 in a while, and that reminds me. I think I can get them to make some popcorn in the green room. X or Chris up there in Reading, listening in on. There's an SDR receiver up by you, Chris, up on Whitmore. Is that where it is? Always has a good signal down here on 40 meters. And anyway, listening to the good stuff here from your radio, Joe. Take another transmission. We've got it logged in. Over.
All 23 channels, looking and sounding like it looks. Okay, Dennis, I've got a couple more warming up here, and it's starting to get pretty warm in this room.
It is. I've got the evaporative going tonight, and it worked for a while, and then I think it kicked down to low, and now it's getting little warm in here with the seersucker suit, but it's good. I mean, it's a good kind of warm because it's coming from all those tubes. Thanks for stopping by. And even the jingle singers know the magic of the tube radios.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
The Old Tuber Radio Network. Let's get back to the control room. Hey, there it is. And I wanted to say hello to, speaking of SWLs, I wanted to say hello to Rob checking in from Texas. I believe it is joining the ranks of the SWLs tonight. Yes, you are. A treat it is. We are in the shack here. We are dressed as you might be dressed back in 1962 in front of your, whether it might be CB radio, your Collins radio. You ever look at the ads, and they're always dressed up with a tie in front of the radio, maybe even a pocket protector as well. So if you're gonna add pictures to radio, you better well make it realistic. The Old Tube Radio Network. We are listening for radio number 6. Over. Trying to see if we can get Harvey back to the microphonium. Or maybe some DX from far off lands. You know, the 150-mile rule for 11 meters the FCC got rid of that. So it's okay to talk to DX stations now. Who would have thunk? However, you still got to have that 5-watt DC input. So it's going to be that I think I can kind of stuff, but it's okay to do it. And who was it? When Tombola said the Cats and Jammer kids went to bed. You know what happened is they drove home and they opened the door and their mom pulled them by the ear out to the bedroom or something. Anyways, good going on. I was sort of hoping, or not hoping, but I was expecting that we might get some double gray line from the Pacific stations tonight. But what happened is we got it opened up and down the West Coast here, so we'll see what happens. OTR listening for radio number 6. All right, it sounds like it's warming up, Joe. Take a transmission, over.
I'm hoping so. Doggone it. I had to cut it back off. I had to make a quick switch there. I got rid of the old switch box there and picked up one today. Another used one, but a little better quality and a little better condition, for sure. Dennis, I'd like to check in my messenger. T00, 10 tubes and 10 channels.
Waseca, Minnesota, this was the radio that showed up after the Messenger 1. The Messenger 1, 1959, when, the FCC banged their gavel and says, you know what, we're making a Class D thing out of that 11-meter band. And so a couple of stations, or a couple of companies immediately jumped in with radios. E.F. Johnson was one of them, because they were already making big boat anchor stuff for the ham guys. And then this was their update to the Viking Messenger and the Messenger 2, not just like a Roman numeral 2, which everybody used, but a TWO, like a fancy address, right? And what did they do? They added some extra channels and they fixed up a couple of things on the receiver, but it's still a powerhouse transmitter. You kind of have to dial the thing back to get your 5-watt DC input. Take a transmission and tell us what you got, over.
Well, Dennis, like we said once before, they're the Messenger T00. 10 channels, 10 tubes, a well-built, this one I would consider a boat anchor, for sure. I know the fellow that owned it had trouble carrying it one day and it got away from him, and the mic pulled it right out of the socket. A terrible situation. So Harvey installed a mic plug on the side of this one. Now there is a plug on the other side. I know we talked about it. A switch, I should say. There's a switch on the right side. I don't have any idea what it's for. The channel selector is a little bitty guy, about the size of a number 2 pencil. Got to wear your glasses to see it. The left side too is your selector there, your A, B, C, D. And then you have your volume and your squelch. But that little switch on the right side, I have no idea what it's for. It is built into the side of the radio, and she looks like she's manufactured that way, but I have no idea what it is.
Well, I found... Oops, I got to keep the transmitter. I'm going to talk. I found a picture of an ad, and the switch has got to be an aftermarket thing. And Harvey, I think, mentioned last week what it could be. Because there's holes in the side, but they're for the microphone, the holder. If you're a mobile mic holder, there's probably some holes on the side where you can put the screws through. And these were modified more for the transmitter section, because I think they were sort of secreted business band radios at 15 watts input, backed down. See, early in the days of the FCC, you could get away. You could get type accepted if you could say, "Well, yeah, look at what's coming out of the SO239. It's 4 watts," even though inside the radio it's built for 15 watts. After a while, they didn't like that. So it's hard to say. Anyway, you sound good. We're showing the original, one of the microphones. 2 microphones came with the static that looked like the ice cream cone, and then Jonathan had a big push-to-talk side lever microphone that went with it. But people used to modify these with controlled carrier and all sorts of stuff. So a good workhorse. They were available in 3 flavors, I think 2 flavors. It was a AC version and a 12-volt version. I think if you wanted to go 6-volt in your old car, you had to go back to the Messenger. 10 tubes, 23-channel receivers, and if you need more, if you got a Sam's PhotoFax 5, CV5, page 48, you will see there. And notice on the ad, and you can confirm this, Joe, when we go back to it, it says new modern styling. So do you feel like you're styling in 1962 with that radio, over?
Yeah, I'd imagine I would be styling in 62 with this radio. The switch, like I say, I have no idea what it's for. It does go mobile. It does have a slot for a mobile hookup. Now, I know when I turn the switch off, when I back the switch down, the radio cuts off. I don't know if that goes into a mobile mode or what. But as I switch it back, the radio comes back on. Anyway, Dennis, thanks for letting me check this one in, and we got another one warming up here, getting pretty warm in the tube room here.
Okay, that's a good sign. It should be warm on a Saturday evening in the tube room. Let's see, at oldtuberadio.com it says Johnson Messenger TWO SAMS PDF. So they might have a schematic. Were you to want one of those, always sounding good, a very popular radio for those of us who might have been, like myself, kind of testing the waters around 1970. You heard a lot of the E.F. Johnson 2s, Messenger 1s, and the 223s. They were good at distributing these to a lot of electronics dealers. And let me see if I go back to the ad itself, sometimes they had places, New Modern Styling, tells you all about it. Oh, this is from Canada, but there it is, E.F. Johnson, Waseca, Minnesota. And look at all the details. See your local dealer distributor and ask for a demonstration of the Messenger TWO. Back when you could get service like that. Good stuff. Thanks, Joe, for checking in. And Mr. Nobody, good to hear you. You weren't as loud as you were last week, but when you came in, it was sounding good. Mr. Nobody checking in live and direct through the skip tonight. We just got a few more minutes to go. If you've got a radio you want to check in or some questions to ask, we're going to see if Harvey gets back and ask him a couple of questions. He's got a radio I think he wants to put on the air tonight, and he's got a couple of radios for sale, so we'll check in with that. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
We are listening for radio number 7. All right, here comes the Pacific again. And Joe, you must have had your Wheaties this morning, or did they make you eat more than a couple of hamburgers at the place?
You know, I didn't make the hamburgers. I didn't get to them. In fact, I was told a story that they were going to be serving only hot dogs. Someone lied to me, and that person knows who it is. But I won't mention any names. No, I would have probably stayed for a hamburger, but I left the house here with no breakfast. I ended up having to get a cup of coffee and a donut just to kind of bring me back to life a little bit. I was kind of fading out a little bit there for a while. But anyway, Dennis, I'd like to check in my Robin T123B. And also, I forgot to mention that I did talk to Kenny earlier, and he sent his regards to all you guys, and that he also is selling out all of his equipment. And I'll have some more details on that there when I get them. Anyway, I'd like to check in my Robin T123B, 12 tubes, plus, I guess I could say it on the airway, maybe some funny channels.
Some of those funny channels back. See, this is pre-1976, so this is sort of what prompted the FCC to throw up their hands and say, you know what, if they're going to go 40 channels, we're going to make it so you can't even buy a 23-channel radio anymore. So the last of the Panasonic chassis tubes from Robin, the T123B, 72 to 76, a great talker because it's plate modulated AM, and the Robins on these chassis got all the extras, the CB, external speaker, the PA, the RF gain, and a fine tune. We had the Gemtronics, Gem Marine Products check in earlier. Same chassis, but it didn't have the RF gain. It didn't have a lot of the lights. So I'm not sure if Robin slipped Panasonic a little extra and said, all that stuff that's inside that you're not putting in the other radios, we'll give you some money to put it in with ours. It always sounds good. Take a transmission. I know you said that thing runs very hot, but transistor radios running hot, not a good thing. Tube radios, it's A-okay. Take a transmission. Over.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. It does run a little hot, a little warm at first, and then it gets super hot. You can't even, to be truthful with you, I don't think I could talk 5 hours on it. The dials get so hot I can't even touch them. Yeah, there are a few features on this, and well-lit radio to begin with. The external speaker has a light. The modulation's there. The text RX light's there. The TX light is there. And a few extra items in the back there. A fun radio. Also, a guy could say it's about a complete radio. It does have a few extra channels, starting from one there with the switch down on the either left, I guess, or right. It's been a while since I put them on. Would start you on 26 and climb up to about 39.
So, yeah, they were synthesized crystals in some of those. So if you changed the multiplier frequency, you could push yourself up in the block of 4, whatever, above 23. Obviously, you're going to need a little roadmap or a cheat sheet to know what's up and what's down and where you're going. That's why we keep it simple on Saturday evenings here on Channel 11. Just look for 11 and you got it. Most of the single-channel radios had 27085 in the slot anyway, so that's why we're here. And it looks like they did an okay job. Sometimes they can put their switches in the wrong place or take out some function that you want to put in a switch. Here's a shot. If you're anybody watching the video, there's the box. Sometimes the boxes go for as much as the radios on eBay. 5-watt, 23-channel Citizen Band transceiver. It says the looks and performance of tomorrow by the designers and engineers of today. And little did they note that tomorrow would be, May 24th, 2025, about 50 years later, and here we are. Take a transmission, over.
Oh boy, that's really something there. This radio is still performing the way it does there, and that's also I can go back to Harvey on that. The dial for the channel selector right now it's on 11. The number 11 is yellow. As the rest of the dial goes, it's green. Then it stops for a minute there, and it's red. Kind of red and green all around the dial there. Pretty nice. But anyway, Dennis, I thank you for letting me check this one in. And once again, Kenny says hello to everyone. Have a safe Memorial Day there. We need to be there, safe and sound there. Like I said before, he is selling out all his equipment. As I go finding out what is for sale, I will get in touch with the people. Okay, Joe, thanks for that. We'll be looking or listening for that. Enjoying the radios, good comments from the listeners. Somebody wants to know if it's possible, maybe it's great. We're talking about coffee and donuts. So is this a type of radio you could set your coffee on the top and warm it up? Most definitely would keep it hot, that's for sure. Or your plate of donuts. It'd be a good idea, but make sure you got something that can withstand the heat, because you just might crack the plate. Yeah, I think that also had a filament switch on one of those. Maybe it was the T123B where you could keep the filaments warm, a standby switch like an old receiver. Just don't spill it down the chassis in there. But if you have sugar, and that might be a bad thing. If it's coffee's black, it might be okay. Sounding good. A lot of people staying up late with us on a Saturday evening, and some of you are into Sunday morning. We're just about ready to close down the net. See if we can get another radio or two before we do that, and some counting and amounting. Skipland, I think we heard Dwayne from Idaho, Mr. Nobody, 709, and some other people listening in to our stations here in Central California. So as we start getting the warmer evenings, we on through the summer, we might expect more of the ducting here on this frequency. We will find out. Anyway, always enjoy your radios, and that's why we are here, to show off the collections. It's like the Fins and Chrome, like an old car show where occasionally you just got to jump in and drive the thing around the block. We're looking for radio number 7. And I hear we're getting that second gray line from the Pacific.
KER, Channel 11,
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Harvey, you're just in time. I was getting ready to have Mr. Announcer and the fanfare give us the totals. But before we do that, let's head over to the west side and see what's going on over there. Over.
Your power's down.
You say that now. Over.
Well, I would have said it before, but that wouldn't have mattered. What were those questions?
There was a question. Oh, someone asked us a week or so ago, and they were talking about the World Radio Lab, the Rustler versus the Hustler. And as they're trying to find out information about a microphonium plug for one. So we know that on the typical, World Radio Labs, it's got a hardwired microphone. And we know that the one that Joe has, that has the plug that was added, looks like it went through the grommet under the, where it says World Radio Labs. And do you recall what flavor of microphonium plug or jack that you added to that? Like 3-pin, 4-pin? Is there one that fits in there or works better over, if you can recall?
4-pin Cobra. I think I had to enlarge the hole just a slight bit, and it just fit right in.
All right, 4-pin Cobra, and then figure out the wiring from whatever your microphone, from push to talk and ground and audio and hot and cold and all those things. So, all right, that's DK Vincent. If he's in the parts box or something, he's got the 4-pin Cobra-style microphone with the caveat there may be a little bit of finagling the space there, right?
I think there was. I think there was enough room. I just enlarged it and put the Cobra plug in. The switch on the side of the Johnson, the Messenger 2 that I have, is for 23 channel receive. So when he said his went dead, the VFO for the 23 channels can be 180 degrees out because there's no stopper. 180 degrees out. Now, there should be a window there and a control. If there's not a window on the right side and a control below it to tune it, then I'm not sure what the switch would be doing in there. So he should just simply check that out. There's usually a light bulb that goes on, but it could be burned out.
All right, I'm just looking at the radio, and it does look like that's a small hole for a standard 4-pin microphone. Might have to do something there. All right, let's talk about your radio. I can hear it pinging. Sounds good. I'm just wondering if you're on the Bagel or some other form of two-way radio-ness.
I'm on the Beagle right now. Yeah, so go ahead and check it in. I was going to check in another one, but, well, let's put it this way. It's heavy, and my arm is getting better. It's fine. I can carry it. But I have another slight problem, so I didn't want to go out and grab it and put it in here. I still have the 3 Brownings for sale, a R68
T68 combination. It's stock, works fine, comes with a banana mic that works really well, and $280 for that. Then I have two Golden Eagle Mark II stations, just the regular AM transmitter and the receiver, which is AM and SSB, but I don't have the trans adapter and all the other things, sideband transmitter and all that. Just the transmitter and receiver, two stations like that. The only drawback possibly would be where the fine-tune knob is. The knobs, I guess, broke, and they installed two other things. They're not really that bad, but it's not original. But radios work fine. $260 for each one of those. No mic with those. And prices are negotiable. If somebody needs a 2-pin plug, I do have them. If someone wants mic adapter cables made with the 2-pin plugs and something on the other end like a 4-pin Cobra, I do make those, but there's an extra charge for that. The mic plugs, the 2-pins, if you look them up, eBay, etc., they're not cheap. So, although there's one guy on Facebook was selling 2 for $15 a piece, so those are probably gone. Anyway, so that's what's doing with me. Any other questions, Dennis? Over.
Well, for a guy who wasn't feeling too good, you're doing quite well, staying up late, getting out here on the air at the Old Tube Radio Network. Of course, we missed you at the swap meet this morning. You're doing well. You've checked in a radio, the Browning Golden Beagle, the R68, T68, the radio that came after the first Eagle and before the Mark II. So what is it? What year was that? 1967 to 68. So it was a 12-month, 16-month run. Back in the day when they're just constantly changing things and updating, it really was like an automobile, like the competition between Tram and Browning and Sonar and Demco and E.F. Johnson and Pace and Midland and everybody just getting that new radio out every month before Uniden said, we'll just make one and you can put your name on it, which is sort of what was starting to happen. And I guess you could still make them for a decent price in the late 60s, accessories and things like that. So I think we have all the current pertinent information we need from you and a radio. So I would give yourself a gold star and an extra cup of chicken soup. Over.
Hey, Roger. Joe said someone's selling his radios, something like that. Who's that?
Oh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. That is Kenny, and I'm not sure what he's got. And Joe said he would get a list and find out whether they're tubes, transistors, and the like. Over.
Not familiar with the person. So, is Tulsa, Oklahoma the handle, or is that where he's located?
That's where he's located because he used to be here for years and years and years, and that is Kenny, SWL69.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, anyway, you'll get a list, and we'll check that out. I'm not sure if I'm working next week or not. If you don't hear from me, then I probably am, but I think last week was the week, I can't remember. Anyway, so if anybody's interested in the Brownings, they can call me or get a hold of me through you or someone else. And if it's a local person, I'll bring them over, or whichever one they'd like to look at, whatever, and they can check them out. I can send pictures first, and then they can. And I could bring them there and they could check them out. Alrighty, I'll turn it back to you. By the way, I can stand still, but it's hard to walk and sit down. How's that for you?
Well, that gives a lot of possibilities. It's hard to walk and sit down, so you can dance maybe. You can do karaoke possibly, and as you have just proven, you can at least check in on radio. So that's good stuff. All right, we appreciate your extra effort. Miss you this morning, and we'll find out more. Be nice to have some of those radios keying up locally here. We'll see what we can do. The Old Tube Radio Network, and when you hear this sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR total.
Mr. Announcer, with the current and final, where they're loud and they're ready to go home. They're already on overtime. Current and final totals of the radios tonight. Let's go with the SWLs. Shortwave listener check-ins on the list, although we have many checking in. You don't have to be on any list. There's no special thing to do here at the Old Tube Radio Network, so we're glad that you stopped by whenever it might be. Maybe it is 2 years from now and you're watching the video replay, such that it is 17 on page 1, 18 on page 2, 17 on page 3, 22 on page 4 for a total of 70. We are right in the middle of the 8-week roster radios. There were a total of 7, and the most heard manufacturer, once again, it's Edgar F., out of Waseca, Minnesota. The Johnsons have it. Started with the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Thanks, Cliff, for that. Great radio. A lot of them. Sears even took one and put their little Sears and Roebuck logo on it and gave it a number. But it was an E.F. Johnson in disguise. Radio number 2, the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate, the Panasonic chassis from Sean out in Sanger. World Radio Labs. Leo Meyerson and the gang somehow stopped making 100-pound, 500-watt radios and put together a 5-watt, a couple of 5-watt radios actually from Globe and World Radio Labs called the Hustler or the Rustler, whatever it is. And we still haven't figured out that debacle. And Joe brought that by. Nice little radio. Madman Muntz figured out how to pull out tubes, 8 tubes, 7 tubes, 6 tubes. Oh, no, not working. Put it back in. Made a 7-tube radio, and it works just great and sounds good. Thanks, Joe, for that. Radio number 4, the Hammerland CB212. Kind of a rare item of interest. Hammerland did get into the CB radio era. The 212 looks a lot like a CB radio, not like their TR series with the clocks, which are basically the receivers with a transmitter in them. If you find one, put it on the shelf. Nice radio. Thanks, Sean, for that. Couple of E.F. Johnsons, the Messenger 223 and the Messenger 2, kind of the same radio, stuck in the same cabinet, turned around with a couple extra channels. Joe had both of those. And so, Joe, you put the Johnsons over the top tonight, and as you just heard moments ago, the Browning Golden Beagle from Browning Lavatories, I think that's the way Harvey would say it, the R68, T68 combination back in the day. I didn't have a price on that, almost $500, no, under $500. That was the affordable radios. It was, do you buy the black and white color console TV? Do you buy the used, 63 Ford Falcon station wagon? Do you spend that $500 on the brand new R68, T68? And I'll guarantee you in 2025, you probably still have the radio, but the other things maybe not. My name is Dennis, Net Controller for the Old Tube Radio Network. We've been doing this since a long time ago on a Saturday evening, right here on Channel 11. Join us, won't you, with your tube radios, and do something like this where you're at. Get on the air night. If you're studying for your ham radio license, continue to do that. The bands are still good in cycle 25, and when I would say there's nobody to talk to, but when there's everybody to talk to at the same time on 11 meters, you can always jump somewhere and have a conversation. 72 plus 1 if you're doing the math, and we will catch you next time on the Old Tube Radio Network. Not even the Skipland wants to play now. Oh, wait a minute. I see a $47.99 from Al and Mark and Andy. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys at on is 40 open? Is 75 open? Where's the station du jour? In fact, you know what? Hold on a second. I can do this now. I can do this now because we don't have to do antenna trickery. So watch this, gang. Let's press this button. And let's go to this antenna. Let's see what's going on here. Dan's probably not.
On YouTube.
Wait a minute.
So, are we going to be on YouTube tonight?
I think we're gonna be on.
Okay, there it is.
The old Tube Radio Network.
And the,
Okay, there it is. Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, well, I heard you guys out here talking, so I figured I'd check in. I've talked to this crew before, so this is KK6A HPB here in Pine Grove, California.
What's the first name?
Don.
Hey, Don. Pine Grove Don.
I don't know if I can do this or not. Let's see here.
Andy, say hi to Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. Yeah, I see him still sitting. There he is. He's still sitting in the control room.
We're still sitting in the control room.
Yeah, so I've got. All right, too many delays here. This is the net.
Can't see. I got lights in my face here. Okay, now how much would you pay?
Dennis live?
See, I'm set up for AM, you know.
Roger.
And when you're set up for AM and go sideband, that's not a good thing.
How was the show?
Wait a minute, was there a show?
How was the show?
The net tonight went pretty good. We got look at the RA meter when you're on sideband. It just throws the thing way off. We got 7 radios. The EF Johnsons were the most heard.
Excellent.
And where are we at now? Tell us what frequency we're on.
7251.
I think it's channel 14.
You know, somebody up here on channel 14 is actually playing repeats of Art Bell on AM on channel 14 CB.
Oh. Well, that is actually available on. I think it's U81 network.
This is Dennis. Maybe you can tell me. Dennis. Maybe you can tell me. I've got an echo looking at the old Tube Radio Network, and I don't have any. There's no other streaming, but I've got this terrible echo. So how do I get rid of that?
Well, are you watching the video, or you can watch the audio as well, or you can listen to the audio as well? So you'd have to turn something down and then turn something up, or just watch the lip sync going. I don't know. Over.
Yeah, it's really tough. I don't have two streams going. It's just watching it on the oldtuberadio.net website, but it's just this echo that I can't get rid of.
Unless you have two windows open of the same thing.
Unless you have two windows open of the same thing. No, I don't. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is it doing it?
It's like looking in a mirror, like an audio mirror where you hear yourself infinitely. And for the SWLs that are still on, we are on 7.251 megahertz on the 40-meter band. And the conditions, Andy's in Oregon, Mark's in Northern California, Al is in Southern California. I'm in Central California. The band is pretty much wide open, and I can't believe it at this time of evening. Over.
Pretty spectacular conditions.
Yeah, very, very good conditions. And hello to the folks on OTR from K6FEJ Lake.
Hi, Harvey. We're down on 40 meters right now.
I know you are. The guy that's wanting to know why he's getting the echo on the stream. Tell him to click on
it's not feedback.
The audio thing.
It's just
display audio control.
Repeating the
There's a speaker.
over and over.
He has to X out the speaker.
Okay, here's someone who knows. It says, under the picture, it says, you might want to mute one of your audio streams when you have video displayed. And then it says display audio controls, and that will let you turn the volume down. It'll open up a little audio thing. It's under the picture. It says display audio controls. And I didn't say this is KB6GFD, did I? But I just did.
All good. AI6J.
All right, Dennis, that did it. Because even though...
Thank you, Harvey. You're great.
I that up, and I looked at that
okay,
earlier.
now I go back in the other room and listen to you guys. I thought I tried to call you on 11, but maybe you turn that volume down. Okay, I'm going back to the other room.
All right, and one of the listeners who's actually watching the video just came on 2 meters. You can hear him right now, maybe.
I was laying down when I heard that.
And he came to his 2-meter radio to tell you what to do, Andy. That's how good our listeners are here.
See, that's technology at work.
Mainly because in the years that we've been doing this, they figured it out. So you're a first timer, so that's okay.
Good signal, Dennis. You're 20 over.
And John says they're hearing us in Arkansas, perhaps here on 7.251.
Oh, hello, Arkansas. Or as some people say, Arkansas.
Yeah, but they're usually run out of town.
And I've got the power turned down because I'm hearing some RFI in my headphones, but I'm listening to an audio interface, which may be picking it up and not transmitting it. And I'm still sort of on the AM profile, too.
Oh, you're sounding good up here. And I might have heard... If you have RF, it's very minor. I might have heard a little bit of a tinge in there.
Yeah, I'm monitoring on a audio interface. I think that's what's picking it up, but that isn't into my audio transmitter thing. But yeah, that's probably just the normal RF that's already there. How did you guys wind up on 251?
We tried really hard. AA7AV.
Oh, Dennis, you know the answer I'm going to give.
I know that the SWLs told you to show up. I don't know.
Now, they were giving away free cookies here on 7251.
Free cookies and donuts and everything else. That's good.
and lots of VFO lube.
Well, you guys are strong. Now, the people watching the video, and I'm sorry about that. I hope I'm not ruining my REA meter. I should put something else up there. They're seeing your signals at 20 over. We did even the local stations tonight that are miles away are not 20 over. And so the stations 100, 200, 400 miles away, that's how the signals work. They go up and they come straight down as if they were in your driveway and they're 20 over. How does that happen?
Dennis, I think it's going to be one of those nights where we have excellent conditions here in 40.
And the band will be long, it'll be long and short. That happened a couple nights ago. We were talking, all of a sudden Wyoming comes in and West Virginia, and they're saying, hey, we can hear you guys.
And it's up here, it's very quiet at S2 noise level.
And your antennas, you didn't lower it down, right? It's still up in the trees.
All right, I'm going to listen. I'll probably jump back in here. I have to take care of the 3 Maine Coons. They're all lined up on the desk, waiting for their treats. Be back in a bit. K6FEJ.
All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair, and I've been sitting here for 3 hours, but I might be back, but I need to get out of the radio room for a bit. But thanks for calling me down, and because of my new setup, this is the first time I've been able to make the quick transition from that other band to 40 meters and actually have it work. So thanks for joining us, and saying hello to all our listeners at oldtuberadio.net.
Well, we couldn't let a Saturday go by without checking in.
Indeed. Jay hearing us in San Diego. I have a good NVIS shot down to San Diego most any time, so I'm not sure what's up with that. It's my bad antenna. All right, 72 plus 1, KB6 GFD leaving the air chair. I mean, everybody's sounding good.
That sounds good. And hello
really
to Jay.
Have any way, being so far away, of joining the net live, so we welcome the opportunity to talk to all of your net listeners with the new technology.
I doubled briefly. Hello to J Projects, who says, good signal, good audio in San Diego. Yes, I'm reading the chat bar.
And hello to Sheerluck Ohms. Yeah, we're on 40 meters right now, just doing a little propagation testing. All right. Okay, the 6L6 tube is about to go dark over at oldtuberadio.net, so it will be safe to touch your screen.
N7FJB.
Wanted to acknowledge John. I'm taking care of the kitties, but hello.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing damn good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Just was outside a little bit, came in and was on the upper band a little bit, talking to a couple guys, and saw some big wide signals down here, and heard you guys down here.
You've been keeping this particular frequency warmed up. I talked to your buddy actually a couple of times. I got to go back here in my logbook to get his call, but you know who I'm talking about.
W7MBR?
Yes, MBR.
Yeah, so he's got a couple radios. He's got ECU, whatever, 101D or something like that. And then he's got a Hermes as well.
Yeah, I think I talked to him on his 101. I talked to him on the Hermit. And, yeah, nice guy. We've actually talked quite a few times, but anyhow, he said you were his neighbor.
Sort of. We're about 100 miles away. He's down in Montesano, Washington. He's over by the coast, kind of, and I'm over about 30 miles northeast of Seattle, so we're kind of neighbors.
Well, good deal. Good to see him getting into the, I guess he's dipping his toe in the ESSB pool.
Yeah, he's it's been a pretty steep learning curve for him because he's not like super computer literate. But he's trying, man. I'll give him credit. Yeah, he's got some issues with the computer stuff, but he's trying. I'll give him credit. I mean, he's 79 years old. He's a Vietnam vet, and man, that guy. I don't think I've ever heard anybody copy and transmit CW as fast as he can. That guy is amazing. I tested him one time. I pulled up an app on my phone and I typed in a bunch of crap on my phone and I hit play. And he's like, "That's not very nice." I'm like, "You know what that said?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, I believe you now." So yeah, he's really good. He used to train GIs in Vietnam on how to do CW. It's funny.
Anyway, really nice guy. I think I helped him out a little bit with his audio on the 101. And I think I finally told him, go get a 2496. Or go over to the closet and dig out some of those square boxes and we'll get you going. John, I got to jump out of here. I'll be listening. I'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. Got to take care of the kitty cats. K6FUJ.
I'll do that. I'll be kind of clear listening for a little bit if I hear you. And if not, then I will catch you tomorrow night. 10-7 FJB. I'll be kind of clear and wonderful.
Roger, did it.